Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. There's 6 inches in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's the team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Welcome to the show, guys. It is Wednesday, July 27th, 2011. This is Down the Rabbit Hole, and I'm your host, Popeye, from FederalJack.com. Today I'm joined by my good friend, JJ, who's got his own show on the Orion Talk Radio Network, and JJ's been on a 2-week hiatus, so he decided to come on the air with me tonight and talk to everybody and say hello. JJ, say hello.
What's up, everybody? Not only have I been on a hiatus, but I haven't watched TV or even had internet till Tuesday, so I didn't even hear about Oslo or any of the news stuff until the other day.
JJ's been out in the wilderness, as it were. And we're also joined by, I have an awesome guest today, guys, for you. He's been in the music industry for over 20 years. He is one of the most vocal proponents of truth in the music industry, and he's got a brass set of balls that wouldn't fit in a dump truck. So without further ado, let me bring on my guest, Mr. Paul Topete of POKERFACE. Paul, say hello.
Hey, man, what's up, dude? That was a great intro. I think that was one of the better ones, man.
Well, I mean, you really have, in the music industry, there's not many people that are vocal and speak the truth, and you're one of the, your band and you in general are one of the most vocal proponents of truth. So, thank you for
beautiful man with a beautiful message.
Thank you for putting your rear end and your career on the line, to stand up for what's right. That takes a brass set of balls in today's world. So thank you, Paul. I appreciate what you do.
Thanks, brother. Thanks to both of you guys, because you let folks like us know that we exist, and I know we're all part of the many member by the Church of Freedom, man. It takes all of our participation to make it happen, man. So
yeah, very true.
We're all important cogs of this revolution.
Very true. We all play an important role. Paul, for the listeners that don't know, what woke you up? What was your waking point where because you used to do regular I guess you could say kind of like pop type music or whatever. And then you guys, you and your fellow bandmates had an epiphany, and you guys just started completely pumping out truth and hardcore stuff like that. What made you make that transition?
The actual, the straw that broke the camel's back, it was a series of abuses of our government over We the People. And it was the 1-year anniversary of Waco. And just sitting there and listening we did it for the sick of the children. Yeah, burned down the church at Waco and watch, men, women, and children from all different races burn because you got to do it for the sake of the children. And disgusted me, the first song that came out was America. We were already recording our second disc called Next, and halfway through it, it's a whole other band, and the message is completely different. And we stayed true to that path ever since, so we're just fine-tuning what we do now.
Doing this kind of music pretty much makes it so that you got to do a regular job. It's going to be hard to make music your career when you pump out truth music, America's protest music. You know what I mean? And we thank you for that.
You don't get the accolades that a Nickelback will get, even though we were, mentioned with them as up-and-comers before, they broke big, and we had labels out to see us in New York, but they wanted us to tone down a politically incorrect message, and by then it was a deep ingrained part of us, and it wasn't going anywhere. So we've been part of first mass culture, pop culture, Judeo culture. We've been relegated to, nothing mainstream, and if they do, like a Steve Colbert report, it's only to try to muddy us up or muddy others up, like the Knife Creek Machine Gun Shoot or Rand Paul or anything that was conservative and to the right.
What do you think? What's your take on this whole Oslo bombing? Lone shoot, quote unquote lone gunman shooter. What do you think of this whole thing?
I think it was punishment, of Norway by Israel for them even thinking of giving statehood to Palestine, as well as having the audacity to boycott Israel. Several other companies and industries have started a boycott, and the Labour Party, which is a big political party in Sweden or in Norway, had called for the boycott, and some of them even calling for the bombing of Israel if they continue to build in Gaza illegally. So this guy, was talking to the EPL, the English Defamation League, and he's a super uber Zion-Nazi, Judeo-Mason, Darwinist. They try to paint him as a right-wing Christian, and there's nothing right-wing and there's nothing Christian about him.
Not at all.
Yeah, there's nothing Christian about this guy.
I think he's an MK Ultra victim, man. Yeah, he's an MK Ultra victim, man.
I agree. Yeah. If you look at his face. It reeks of total programming. You could just see it in his eyes. They have
look at his gear.
They have that dead-like stare to him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he's smiling with a happy smile, I gotta kill some folk today. But dude, I heard multiple shooters, and this guy supposedly had a truck bomb that the windows blew from the inside out because there's charges in there. It's like Oklahoma City all the fuck over again, man. I mean, come on. How many times we got to be deceived and the same fucking play go before Thumb wakes the F up and go hey, you guys already tried this one on us, man. We're awake this time.
Set up from the get-up.
Yes,
yeah,
it's
man.
A complete setup.
Hey, you think them kids were a message to their parents?
Parents to the country, from Israel to them. It's look, dude, you don't veer from our Zionist plan, man. There'll be Zog, Zionist-occupied government everywhere. And if you go and think that you're actually free, we'll spank you and use the media against you because we own it or our tribal brothers own it.
It's amazing what happens when you stand up against Zionism, and I myself, and I have an insider's view of it because I'm of Jewish ancestry, and I actually had family that was rounded up during World War II. My grandmother, I've talked in there before about how my grandmother had her face beat in because she refused to watch the Nazis assassinate somebody literally right in front of her and everything else. And I get really fed up when I see these Zionist scumbags using what really happened and twisting it and turning it to, poor us, we're victims, so we have to bomb all these innocent people into submission, and we have to torture people and we have to rape the United States government and the people of the United States because, let's face it, they don't have enough money, quote unquote, to pay the veterans and the old people their Social Security checks and their benefits checks, but they certainly have billions of dollars to give Israel and to bomb Libya and to go into Iraq and Afghanistan. We've given in foreign aid alone just to Israel. And I'm not Israel bashing because we give other countries trillions of dollars too, but just to Israel, we've given 4 times the amount we spent on the Apollo moon mission. I mean, that's just crazy. It's insane. Guys, we're going to break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
These wars have cost us a couple of $1 trillion so far.